do the transition and we'll get going. So, mic silence.
My face.
All right, so we should be streaming. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Secret Sects Dungeon. You'll remember if you've seen the previous videos that our adventurers have left from the Lonesome Coach, a tavern that is located in the south of the Sword Coast and on the edge of the Misty Woods. We have had our adventurers enter the tavern on finding information for making their way towards Light Watch Tower, a supposed Lathander worshipping area that was desecrated many, many years ago, and tasked to the paladin of our group, Davos. He has been given the task of returning this place to its former glory and removing any evils that are within. So the adventurers met a ranger within the tavern by the name of Falcor, who has guided them out to Lightwatch Tower, and upon arrival they've noticed that there are golden skeletons that are actually sort of, I suppose, patrolling the areas around the tower. With a small amount of planning and some quick action, 3 roaming skeletons that were found near the opening of the premises were thwarted by our adventurers, and they now stand with the sun going down in the last light of the day out the front of Lightwatch Tower. And I think that currently we have Davos, Syl, and I believe also Falcor, all standing within this opening that is in front of the tower, just around these skeletons that you've just managed to destroy, and the rest of you are currently near the edge of the forest, where you had a little vantage point to be able to see this building that's up on a hill. So, for now, adventurers, what would you like to do?
Go in, kill things.
Yeah, let's
Can we
loot?
loot the skeletons?
Sure.
Yeah, let's be slightly less hasty.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an investigation check for me, Chris. Chris is playing Falcor, our little what do you call it? Discord symbol down in the bottom left there. Going towards the right, we have Matt, who is playing Magnus Lamont. In the top row there first is Rebecca, who is playing Ko, our rogue. In the top right is Jordan playing Syl. Below him is Kelvin, who is playing Thorax, our druid. And then on Thorax's left-hand side is Davos, our paladin. So, Chris, Falcor, what did you get for your investigation roll?
Is that D20, sorry?
Yeah, so roll a d20 and add your investigation skill check.
I got 10 plus 1, so 11.
11, fantastic. So you have a bit of a look around, and the main things that you can find for anything worth any in the transition, and we'll get going, would probably be just the gold that is actually lining the bones. The swords and axes. All right, so we should be streaming. Hello, everyone. Rusted. Welcome back to Secret Sects. They don't actually look like they'd be worth much to you as a fighter or for trade. So you could probably nab a couple of these bones that are coated in gold, and perhaps they'd be worth something if you were to head back into town to the right kind of buyer, but you're not sure there's much else of value around here.
With the swords, does it look like if you stab someone with it, they'd get tetanus?
Are you coming into the opening to inspect them?
Yes.
Okay, so you walk across the battlefield, and kind of in the foothills you find one of these beings just next to Syl. Actually, he's just looking down at it at the moment, and there's a long sword that it's holding. Roll a medicine check.
That's what I was thinking as well. Nice.
Chris, you could make a great DM.
It's like, yes, I stabbed you, now we're going to leave.
Entry.
2.
A 2. You're not sure what disease you'd get from this sword, but it looks rusted. At the moment, you guys you're at the bottom of a hill that leads up towards the entry, and the hill is probably about an incline of like maybe 20-30 degrees. It's not too strong. You're about maybe 50-60 feet away at the moment where you've attacked these creatures. You
Can
can
I,
see
From the hill or from the entrance?
from the entrance if you were to sort of walk up the hill. You can see that there's
Can
a
I
little...
walk?
Yeah.
No, continue.
Oh, I was just going to say, as you come out of the forest, you can see that the clearing kind of passes beyond the hill, and behind the building itself, it looks as though there's a bit of a cleared area. If you want to just roll a perception check for me, Davos, and let me know what you get for your perception, that would be good.
Who's rolling?
You. What do we got there?
Roll a 6 plus 0.
Okay, so a 6. So yeah, it's just starting to get dark, and your eyes are kind of adjusting to the light levels as you're moving sort of up towards the base of this hill. And yeah, you can just see that there's a bit of forest that starts to encroach, maybe about another 100 feet or so beyond the back of the tower. And as you begin walking up, what are the rest of you doing?
can I come into the clearing, and I want to inspect the skeletons and try to work out what sort of magic's been put on them?
Sure, go ahead. If you come up towards one of them, and you can see that one of the skulls is still kind of intact. And just roll an Arcana check for me.
Cool. 8.
An 8 total. You know that skeletons are usually made of like necromantic magic, but there's something odd about them being coated in gold. You haven't actually seen this before. And as you look closer, you see that even on the skeletons that you've come across in the past, there's usually like decayed flesh, and just like near the joints, like tendons are still there and things like this, sort of holding it all together. It doesn't appear there was any sort of organic material on the bones.
Cool. Can I take like a sample of the bone?
Yeah, like you can take a rib if you like. There's
Cool.
plenty spare.
Yeah.
Spare ribs.
Hey.
I get it.
Oh, there goes the other viewers.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, so you grab a couple of ribs. They are just all like you see as you look over the bone. You haven't really done any like blacksmithing or anything like that in the past, have you?
No.
No. So you wouldn't really know what's caused this. But yeah, they look like they've been almost dipped in gold.
Right. I go up to the gate, like 30 feet away from it, and cast Divine Sense.
Okay, cool. So that extends out 60 feet.
Yeah, 60 feet to detect undead, but also detect desecrated objects.
Yep.
Good
So
idea.
the moment that you cast it, you kind of extend your vision, your divine vision outside of the realm of what you can actually see, and beyond the wall of this castle, it's almost as though the entire thing just glows with this like decayed and yeah, it's a desecrated temple that this has become. You also notice that in that instant, you can sense on the other side of the wall, behind that door, there are at least 3 creatures of undead nature.
So, everybody, we're going to go kill 3 creatures behind this door.
I will follow you.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna hang back in the formation, like let the melees go first.
Yeah, I will lead first.
Cool. So
I'm going to hang back too in case they're magic, because I
Great.
can't do much.
So I'll just get a bit of a marching order. So Davos is up front. And then who's with him at the moment?
I'll follow close behind because I'm very engaged in this mission, and
Yep.
I believe in Davos.
Nice.
Oh,
Mm.
that's
Um,
nice.
So
I do.
I'd say behind them, probably who would be following behind these two? They're kind of almost
Falcor.
an advanced party. Falcor's behind them, and then the rest of you are kind of hanging as a group at the moment. Yeah, cool. So that leaves Lamont. Thorax, Bell, and Co. Great. So, Davos, as you walk up to the door, you can see that there's these massive sort of stone doors that have been almost neglected to time. You stand before the twin doors of this once proud chapel that adjoin the tower. The doors currently look to be, they're just closed. You haven't really inspected them or anything, but they were finally made when new. And you can see that through time they've been worn. There's this kind of stone motif, and you can see like the depictions of holy symbols of Lathander, the rising sun and the path carved into the doorways, now sort of sundered and faded away. The stained glass windows that once flanked the door would have been magnificent, but it's been a long time since the glass has shattered, and it now leaves only the wrought iron in the framework that once held the glass of each of these window wells on either side.
So can I see through it all?
Do you want to like get up close and have a bit of a look through the windows and everything like that?
Yeah, and I've also got dark vision 60 feet.
Okay, so
Me too.
great. So you walk up, and each of you kind of lean to either side of the door, and through like the base of these stained glass windows is about sort of shoulder height, and they proceed upwards from there.
Yes.
As you look through, it is dark. It is so dark that you can't see anything.
Even with
I
that.
would. Could I use my?
Even though both of you are used to seeing in the dark, you cannot see anything beyond the stained glass sort of frames.
Can I just looking at it and considering I've never seen darkness like this, can I try and see if it's perhaps magical or otherwise?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Or
upon
like,
your
can I get a feeling for it?
Yeah, there's something strange about this. There's something extremely strange about it. You're not sure. Like the darkest of nights, a new moon in the middle of the morning, you would be able to find your way around a very dense patch of forest. But as you look through this window, it's just almost though someone has painted the opposite side of the window black. There's just nothing there, and all that it can lead you to is the fact that there must be something else forcing this darkness, because you turn around, and though it is the harvest moon at the moment, which is a very large full moon, and that glows around the clearing that you stand in next to this tower, you can see that the shadows that the forest casts, you would still be able to see into from this distance.
I'd like to look towards Davos and ask if he knows any light spells. Do you know any light magic to light this area up?
Not so much, not so much.
Can I hear them? Can I see that they're looking confused?
We could just use fire if anyone can light a fire.
At this point,
That's my cantrip.
At this point, Thorax, you can see that they're kind of standing at the doors, talking back and forth. They're just like, it's really dark in there.
Well,
It's really good.
I think I might ask people, like, do people want to go in, or do we want to wait to the dawn? Because in the dawn, beauty reigns and the way is clearer.
Oh god, shut up! Let's just go in.
You guys,
I vote.
everyone. Davos, you receive an inspiration die for that, so feel free to
In the
roll.
Wikipedia page.
Yep. Doesn't matter where it comes from. That is very true to your character. So go ahead and feel free to re-roll a d20 at any point in time as you recite the tenets of your faith.
I'm over being outside, so I vote buildings, please.
Will going make you stop talking?
Probably.
Okay, I was really expecting you guys to like wait till the morning, but you're just like,
Like, go in now.
Cool.
Do you guys
Okay.
need me to light torches?
What's that?
Right,
We need to light torches.
Co,
Do you need
go
me to
ahead.
light torches?
I suppose we could.
Co, with the limited sort of arcane knowledge that you have, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
13.
A 13. You know that fire would be relatively useless if this is magical darkness. You would probably be able to see the torch that you are holding that is a light, but it wouldn't illuminate anything. Any light that is coming from a natural source seems to be being destroyed by what is in front of you here.
Ooh. We should do what Davos says. Be afraid.
Uh,
Wait for the
Luke-
light god to help us.
Could I use an illusion to create a light source?
What spell would you be using?
Minor illusion.
Minor illusion. So it would probably produce, it'd produce something that would glow around your person. You might get maybe 3 feet off of yourself that you would be able to illuminate. But there's spells such as light that would be
Yeah.
sort of ideal for this situation.
Yeah, just not as character appropriate for.
No, that's entirely fair. But yeah, you could create like a little, I suppose, like what would it be, like a glowing image of something within your palm?
Yeah, like a Phalite or something like that.
Sure.
Like fairy fire.
Cool. So you cast a minor illusion and you see that your hands, both of them, just begin glowing with this kind of greeny orange light that is sort of shifting between shapes of like trees and leaves and falls into shadow occasionally. It looks as though there's almost like this comparison, like a force between the light that's being created and it being taken away by darkness at the same time across these hands. So you have a small amount of light in the area around you that you're casting.
Cool. So I'll like just walk up to where the other guys are to try and like light into the room a little bit.
Sure. So you walk up beside them and you can see these frames that are at about shoulder height. And as you look in, you can see that just beyond the area that you're looking, it kind of illuminates the opposite side of the windowsill and not much more.
Okay.
From
It's the best I can do, guys.
yeah.
okay,
So this is at the front of the tower at the moment, and you can see that it's almost to. As you stand here at the front doors, you can see that there's a large tower on the right-hand side that seems to go up about maybe 30 feet or so. And directly in front of you is this room that is almost like a rectangular room that extends off the side, like a kind of, I suppose, Davos, you would know that this is probably the worship area. And the tower was actually built to capture the first and last of the light that actually hits this area.
so is everybody wanting to go in?
I am definitely not that keen. The darkness, I'm not a fan, guys. I think we should wait for this dawn that Davos speaks of.
Can we
if
lure
it's-
whatever's in there out instead of going in?
Well, I'm
we-
super over being outside because the outside sucks. And so I tell them, well, there was this point. I've been legally blind, guys. It's fine. So I start walking into the darkness doing this. And like just trying to feel my way.
Wait, how does he walk in?
And you
Isn't the
walk-
door
you walk-
closed?
Cool. So
Yeah, the door's closed.
You walk directly up to the door and you're swinging your arms over and over and over and smack, you hit the door. Just roll a strength check for me.
Oh,
Thorax.
fuck.
It'll be fine.
Oh god.
Oh no, his arm came off.
4.
-1.
Okay. So that's you kind of hit these stone doors and they don't move. You just it almost feels like your arm like flinches for a second as you collide with the white stonework. It barely makes a sound, But
At,
can I
at
just
this
get
point, I turn around and I go, "Little help."
at this point when you ask for a little help? Can I just get a call on what everyone's passive perception is?
14.
11.
0.
11.
No, that's not the.
Yeah, I was gonna say you shouldn't have a 0 passive.
That would really suck. He's just blind, deaf,
It's
and
10.
dumb.
A 10.
Sorry, I missed that. What happened?
Chris, what's Falcor's passive?
Passive perception.
So that's just the one with the whole everything there. I've just got +4
So
perception.
I'd say
I guess it'd be
so
14.
it should be 14. I think
Yeah.
it's
it
Oh,
would
okay.
be.
okay.
It's underneath the skills.
Sil and Falcor, you both hear on the
Oh yeah,
opposite.
passive wisdom.
Yeah, so right at the bottom of your skill checks.
Yeah,
there,
sorry,
Chris.
14. Yeah.
14, cool.
Yep.
So
Yep.
both of you hear what sounds like metal against stonework as Thorax hits the door. Just like from immediately on the opposite side of the door. And it sort of triggers both of you to think that perhaps this is barred from the inside.
Hey guys,
Hey,
I think it's barred from the inside.
However, at this point,
I thought you